I never thought I'd be telling this story out loud. For most of my adult life, I was sure of one thing: my husband and I were solid. Unshakable. We'd been together for over a decade, grew up in the same town, survived long distance, cross-country moves, family chaos, deaths, career changes. Every hard chapter just made us stronger. Until it didn't. About a year ago, everything started to feel off. My husband has a coworker. I'll call her Laura. She's in her mid-20s. One night, while I wasn't there anymore but had been earlier, she came on to him at a bar. She knew he was married. He was drunk, but according to him, he shut it down. When he told me about it, I made myself very clear. I didn't like her. I didn't want him drinking around her. I had a bad feeling about her from the first moment I met her, the kind of feeling you can't explain, but you don't ignore either. He brushed it off. Told me not to worry. Even made a cruel comment about her appearance, like that alone should make me feel safe. And I did trust him. Completely. We shared locations. We knew each other's passcodes. We talked constantly throughout the day. In 12 years, I had never had a reason to doubt him. So I told myself I was overreacting. Then came last summer. We were on a trip together, and late one night I saw a text pop up on his work phone. From Laura. There was no work reason for them to be talking. It was late. My stomach dropped instantly. I looked through the messages. Nothing explicitly romantic. Just casual back-and-forth conversation. But the problem wasn't what they were saying, it was that they were talking at all. I confronted him. Asked him why he was still messaging her when he knew how uncomfortable I was. We talked for hours. He promised it wouldn't happen again. He even told me he'd spoken to her and set a boundary. That they would only communicate if it was strictly work-related. I wanted to believe him. Things stayed quiet for a while. Long enough for me to breathe again. Then Christmas happened. We were visiting family, staying at a hotel. After Christmas Eve with his relatives, we were back in the room getting ready for bed. His work phone buzzed. Laura. It was after 1 a.m. We'd both been drinking. I grabbed the phone and read everything. Again, nothing overtly incriminating. But again, not work. And absolutely not appropriate at that hour. I lost it. I texted her back myself, telling her to leave us alone. I blocked her number. And in a moment I'm not proud of, I threw his phone into the toilet. He was too drunk to really react. Just confusion. Dismissive comments. What's your problem? Nothing happened. I didn't sleep at all that night. I actually packed my bags and seriously considered flying home alone. I didn't. Instead, we talked. Again. He swore it was over. Told me he loved me. Told me I was his soulmate. Told me it would never happen again. He changed the passcode on his work phone after that. Which, given everything, I understood. It took everything in me to start forgiving him. And just when I felt like I was finally making progress, everything unraveled again. A few months later, his company offered to relocate us to another city. 3 hours away. It had to happen fast. No kids. I work remotely. We decided to take the leap. The move was chaotic, rushed, stressful. We leaned on a realtor to find a place quickly. After everything was signed and done, I found out that the realtor had been referred to us by Laura. I didn't panic. She worked in a department that handled those things. It made sense. Or at least, I told myself it did. Then, right in the middle of the move, my husband told me he had to go on a work trip. He was supposed to help recruit college students at a competition he'd participated in years ago. He said he'd be going with coworkers he'd known for a long time. I didn't love the timing. But I tried to be supportive. Then I found out one of the guys had dropped out. Laura was going instead. He told me up front. I told him just as clearly that I was not okay with it. He reassured me again. Promised everything would be fine. Said he'd check in constantly. I felt sick, but I didn't know what else to do. A week before the trip, he had a work going away party at a local brewery. At first, he invited me. Asked if I wanted to come. Then, nothing. As the day got closer, he never mentioned it again. No time. No details. No reminder. It felt deliberate. Like once he knew Laura would be there, he didn't want me anywhere near it. That night, I texted him while he was there. No response. I checked his location, still at the brewery. I figured he was just talking with coworkers. The place closed at 9. His location stayed there 20 minutes after closing. Then it disappeared. I called him. No answer. Texted. Nothing. No location for over an hour. We live in an area with great cell service. My messages were going through. He hadn't lost signal. I checked his Apple Watch. Then checked his phone's location through it. My heart stopped. His phone was showing in front of Laura's apartment. I texted him that something felt very wrong and that I needed him to come home immediately. He called me back like nothing was wrong. I could hear it in his voice, drunk, defensive, rehearsed. He gave me way too many details I hadn't asked for. Where he'd been. How the night ended. How one coworker got too drunk and needed a ride home. So I asked him directly why his phone had been near Laura's apartment. He denied it completely. Told me I was imagining things. Making it up. Worrying for no reason. Claimed he didn't even know how to turn off his location. It was gaslighting. Pure and simple. When he got home, the story shifted. He finally admitted he had driven a coworker home, and since Laura lived on the way, he dropped her off too. He said he didn't tell me because he knew I'd be mad. My instincts screamed that there was more. But I had no proof. After that, the work trip happened anyway. He said it was too late to cancel. While he was gone, he texted constantly. Called me. FaceTimed me. I hated every second of it, but I accepted it. When he came back, we finished the move. And for a while, things felt better. I thought maybe distance had saved us. I was wrong. This is where everything finally collapsed. He doesn't know what I know yet. Last weekend, we both went back to our old place to see friends. It's about a 3-hour drive. We drove separately because we were leaving on different days. On the final day, I wanted to head back before dark, so I left around 2:30 in the afternoon. I told him to text me when he was on his way. At 4:45, he sent me a picture of a project he was finishing at the house. I assumed he'd be leaving soon after. At 5 o'clock, he texted me again, commenting on the photo. At 5:30, I replied when I got home. The message didn't deliver. I checked his location. It wasn't loading, just a single ping at 5:02, near where he would get on the highway. 13 minutes from the house. The pin sat directly on top of a hotel right off the exit. I didn't panic. It was close to the on-ramp. I told myself it was nothing. Spotty service. At 5:50, I called him. Straight to voicemail. At 6:05, I called his work phone. It rang. No answer. Which was strange, because it's connected to his truck. At 6:20, he finally called me back. It sounded like he was getting into his truck. He said he was at a gas station off the highway. About 25 minutes from the house. His location reappeared and matched that. He casually mentioned that he'd left the house around 5:30. The math didn't work. He said his personal phone had died and he'd just plugged it into the car. At around 8:30 that night, he walked in the door. On its own, I might have been able to explain it away. Maybe his phone died. Maybe he packed up longer than he thought. Maybe the location ping was wrong. But that 502 ping wouldn't leave my head. If his phone died at the house, why did it show him 13 minutes away? Something felt wrong. Deeply wrong. So the next morning, I checked our phone bill. And my heart completely sank. There were text messages and phone calls on his personal line to a number I didn't recognize. So many of them. Going back months. All lining up perfectly with weekends we weren't together. Long phone calls. An hour. Sometimes more. I looked closer. The durations were hauntingly familiar. 67 minutes. 24 minutes. 18 minutes. The exact length of his drive. On the day he left the house, starting at 6:15, they were on the phone the entire time. When the call dropped, they called each other back. Over and over. Talking non-stop for the entire drive. I reversed the number. It was Laura. He hung up with me and called her. I sat there staring at the screen, feeling stupid. Numb. Like the ground had just disappeared under my feet. He's my entire world. Without him, I don't know who I am. I don't know where I belong. But the loneliness I've felt these past few months, being second to someone I'm not supposed to worry about, that loneliness is suffocating too. I hate who I've become. Suspicious. Jealous. Analyzing timestamps and pings and call logs. I was never like this. I never needed to be. Every time I tried to talk to him, I was told I was imagining things. That I was crazy. That I was looking for problems that didn't exist. And now I'm staring at hours and hours of proof that something does exist. Even if nothing physical ever happened, this feels like betrayal on a level I don't know how to process. The emotional intimacy. The secrecy. The lies. The gaslighting. It hurts in a way that cuts deeper than I ever expected. I have screenshots of the location ping. I have the phone bill. What I don't have is the content of the messages. Part of me wants to look at his phone before confronting him. Another part of me knows I might fall apart if I see what's there. I don't know if they met in person that night. If they did, it would have been brief, but possible. It's just as possible they didn't meet at all. It's even more possible that something happened on the work trip. Or after that party. I don't know. What I do know is that I can't keep living like this. Do I confront him tonight with what I have? Do I ask to see his phone? Do I take it? Or do I pack my things and disappear before he has a chance to talk his way out of it again? Or am I still somehow convincing myself that I'm seeing things that aren't there? I feel like I'm losing my mind. And I don't know which choice will hurt less.